We work specifically with Cambodian youth, but we don't turn away anybody that is Southeast Asian in the community.
We've strategically chosen to start working with young women because of the particular roles they play in their families as caretakers, as translators, as supporters, because of the particular gender roles and expectations that are placed on them. The really amazing things that just happened this past year that the young people and organizers that we've been working with were able to accomplish was publishing the first ever report on second generation experiences growing up here in Long Beach.
I'm very proud of it because it was a long process that I have been a part of, and it was in part of creating the surveys, handing them out, analyzing the data, and then everything came together in the end and to create a report.
To publish this report that really exposed the challenges that they face around racial profiling, around education, around health, and then also just things that they're kind of like facing within their families' lives too, that are a direct result of the lack of economic opportunities and racial disparities that they have been raised in and their families have been placed into when they arrived here in the U.S. Really identified 5 core things that they wanted to see addressed here in Long Beach that were not just for them as like Cambodian youth, but for all young people, because they realized as they did this research on their experiences that the problems they were facing were problems that all young people were facing here in Long Beach. And so that really allowed us to create a platform to stand on, to demand that resources and opportunities get placed at the center in Long Beach to support young people's development and their health and wellness. So it's really exciting that they were able to publish that report. They had a hearing with some of our elected officials to share their stories and really give voice to the experiences that they have been having on a much bigger scale than they've ever been able to do. It was the first ever Cambodian youth hearing that was held. And so we're very proud about them really being able to lead that whole process and being able to voice their own experiences at that hearing.
I got to do some phone bankings and all of that, and it really reached out to people on what problems we had and stuff like that, and they actually came.
I was one of the speakers, and I talked about education in Long Beach and how it's not going so great right now.
And we had like testimonies about 3 people about deportation and all of those things, and it really helped bring us to other people in the community. Like, we're not quiet, we're going to be loud in the community.
Have a structure set up for measuring impact, and we do it through our pre-survey and post-surveys that we have our members take as they go through the leadership tier, or the leadership structure that we have set up in developing their leadership, their analysis, their critical thinking, and being able to see how if they are equipped and have the skill sets to organize in the community. And then also we ask questions in the survey that talks about how they're actually taking what they're learning in KGA and practicing it day to day.
We're positioned really well in Long Beach working with these young women in particular to create huge amounts of change. I think also just working with young people is just a huge opportunity, because I think they have so much hope and so many great ideas around like how they want to see things change in their community for themselves and for their families.
Because I honestly think that KGA like changes people's perspective on like the community. We are the professionals in our own community. Like, we know the stories and we know how things are, and we know what needs to be changed.
They very much are attached to this idea of like fighting against things that they can see that are happening in their communities that are wrong, and they are very clear about how injustice looks in their communities and stand behind wanting to see things change.
KGA tries really hard is to engage everybody in our fundraising process. So we do a lot of grassroots fundraising effort from members to staff to board, so everybody is engaged, and that way we try to build greater ownership of the organization. And of course we also do institutional fundraising. $1,000 to $5,000 grant will go a really long way in supporting KGA's work, especially this year because our youth leaders and youth organizers are running a campaign. It's their Youth at the Core campaign, and they are fighting for a wellness center in Poly High School, which is the largest high school here in Long Beach, and that neighborhood actually has a 22.7% unemployment rate and have one of the highest pregnancy rate in LA County.